Hello and welcome to my Guild Wars 1 video on a difficulty that is self-imposed that I'm going to be doing. I think people might be interested in trying this. Alright, so let's say you're bored of hard mode and vanquishing and you want like a challenge, right? Um, let's make the game harder in a way that's repeatable and it's like a standard. So the thing I'm proposing, this isn't an update for the devs to implement. If they want to implement this, great, but you can just do this without, the devs implementing it. It's going to be elite mode. So what is elite mode? So you see I have a full party size. Elite mode is hard mode with half the party size. So if it's an 8 area, you run 4. If it's a 4 area, you run 2. If it's a 3 area, if it's a 6 area, you run 3. So the idea is it's hard mode vanquishing, but you restrict your party size. So that is the first limitation. Another limitation, and this is self-imposed, so for it to be considered true elite mode, in my opinion, no PvE skills at all. So not only can you not run any PvE skills, you have half the party size. No cons, no buffs from anything, no support flares, no summons, pure Guild Wars, making builds, no PvE skills, half party size. This is like if we're being like, for real, not for play. No, that was a drawn together reference. If like this is going to be considered elite mode, it has to be hardcore. So no summons, no consumables, personal or normal. Like literally the only thing you can have is just basic Guild Wars skills and, half party size. So you enter a thing, you go vanquish it. If you want more challenges, here are some other rule sets you can add on to. So let's type this out. So here is elite mode. Elite mode. It'll say this shit, which is funny. All right, so elite mode. So half party size, no PvE skills, no cons of any kind, no summons of any kind. So that includes every single Eye of the North skill. All the Norn stuff, all the Dwarven stuff, all that shit. Just disabled. I'm also considering the coercion of Highlander, which is a profession limit 1. So this comp would not do because I have these 2 Ellies. So I'd have to drop these Ellies. So I think Highlander makes sense for this. Also Highlander. So what this forces is you can't just run like 2 shutdown mesmers, like a ineptitude slash maybe like a psychic instability mesmer or panic mesmer. So you'd have to actually comp around small party size, one of no more than one of a profession. So in this case, I'd have to kick these 2 and get like a writ and then maybe like a monk or something. So it's small, it's half party size, no PvE skills, no cons, no summons, Highlander, so one of each profession. You can't have more than one, so you can't just spam a thing. And also considering banning meta skills, like no shadow form. Things like Spellbreaker, I would say, are allowed. So no shadow form, VoS. E-Surge is fine because it's small team comp, and with the profession limit 1, E-Surge isn't going to carry damage or nuke things. So I would ban these 2 skills. If I were the devs of the game, I would nerf the shit out of both of these personally, being a game developer myself. But all right, so these are the limitations for elite mode. So I wanted it to be something that's truly difficult. So there's no save yourself spam. There's nothing to fear. There's no broken shit, like no PvE skills at all. No, I am unstoppable, because those spit in the face of the game design. Also banned are Shadow Form and Vow of Strength, because Vow of Strength allows, like if you Spellbreaker yourself and ball up a group of enemies and Vow of Strength them, it will kill all of them. And also, I thought this through a little bit. 100 Blades isn't as good because a Whirlwind attack is a PvE skill. So if you want to truly do the Vanquish under these settings, under actual elite mode, you have to be fucking hardcore and not use broken shit and actually know what you're doing in the game and make proper comps and builds. So almost none of the meta builds will work for this. None of them should work. Very few of them will work because energy surge spam relies on burst damage across multiple dudes in order for it to be effective. So the fact that you're profession limited to 1 and you're half party size, and the lack of shadow form allows you to easily tank and ball up enemies because this is now banned for this to be considered a true elite mode. You just can't easily ball up enemies. So you have to run like Obsidian Flesh or like Spellbreaker, skills that have fucking downsides. So I don't just mindlessly hate Shadow Form, it's just way too powerful. And it's used in like almost every speed clear, if not most speed clears, for just balling up enemies mindlessly. And then Vow of Strength is also used. PvE skills are spammed. Cons are spammed. Summons are spammed. So the idea of Elite Mode is that it's a truly difficult experience. It's supposed to be as hard as the game can possibly get. So you have to vanquish an area with half party size and all these other restrictions. So I'll put them in the description. But if you rely on cons, or if you rely on PvE skills, if you rely on summons, if you rely on meta builds and not thinking, this mode is not for you. The intention of this video is to, first of all, kickstart a new series I'm going to be doing, because frankly, Henchman Vanquishing is a lot easier than I anticipated, so I wanted something harder than that. So what better than a severely restricted team comp half-size Vanquishing? Aside from that, you don't have to be campaign locked. Like, this account is factions locked, so in order for me to vanquish, I'll have to do a new character just because obviously it's hard to track progress. Like, I'd have to just kind of go through. I guess I could do the video and I could track it that way, but it's satisfying to vanquish the area legit, fresh. But if you want to do it where you're limited to certain skills from a particular campaign, you can do that. If not, I would say that's fine, because half party size with AI, I would say if you do it with other players, it'd be too easy. I think you should do it with AI. So the big upside is it's pretty easy to flag everyone individually. So you'll have to get really good with pulling, really good with formations. You'll have to comp around 4-man party and 8-man areas, so it could be interesting. So we'll see how difficult it is. Obviously some builds might still be pretty strong, but the fact that I just banned Vow of Strength and basically 100 Blades is no longer effective, and a lot of these meta builds that people just mindlessly throw on won't work, because you can't E-Surge spam. There's one Mesmer. You have access to one Mesmer. It's Highlander rules. So I wanted something that was basically like Iron Man mode that people do, where they run with henchmen, because I was doing henchmen. I don't think people do henchman vanquishing, but I was doing henchman vanquishing. I wanted something that was like that, but harder and with more thinking involved, because with henchman vanquishing, most of their builds are actually decent. So as long as you just personally tank and ball enemies up around you, even if you're just using Armor of Earth or something, it's quite easy to tank personally and then just nuke everything, and then the henchmen survive. So I think half party size vanquishes could be quite difficult and fun. So we'll have to see where that goes. And I think if you tried to do that with henchmen, it would just be mindless and stupid, because you need to make the builds yourself. The henchman builds wouldn't be specialized enough to fill the roles. You'll probably have to run a Soul Twister, a hard prot. Prot might be better with Spellbreaker depending on the circumstances, but you'll have to manually Spellbreaker yourself, and this is truly hardcore. There's no bullshit, no Shadow Form, no Vow of Strength, no PvE skills, no profession spamming, half party size, no cons, no summons. If I missed anything, let me know. I'll allow kneeling. So here's the rule for kneeling. You can't bring money with you. So if you want to buy away death penalty, I'll allow that only if it's money you've earned while playing. So when you kneel, a dude spawns. So these are fine, but only with money you've earned throughout the Vanquish. So if you want to buy these buffs, you have to kill enemies, get gold, and all this other shit. The big upside to doing this type of Vanquish, is you'll get twice as much gold and twice as many drops because of the halved party size. So in a way, even though it doesn't actually increase your drop rate, you essentially have 2 times drops. So just because of that fact alone, it could be interesting because you'll be getting more drops than you would normally, like while vanquishing. So that could be something that's nice. It would be nice for this to be an official game mode where like it actually it like forces, it'd be like a, let me go back to town. Oops. It would be like, it, you know, an extra symbol next to hard mode. It'd say like elite mode. It could be like, I don't know, what kind of symbol would be cool. It's like a recognizable thing. Maybe like the sword, like these 3 swords or something, or like a sword with like wings on it, like the wing blade or whatever, like a elite mode, and it has this rule set and it like halves your party size. They could just leave it like hard mode stats, like, you know, every enemy is as it is normally in hard mode, but you cannot use PV. It like puts all these restrictions on you. It like literally bans Shadow Form and Vow of Strength. I think that'd be really cool, because if they just made it like half party size and that's it, it would be too boring. Everyone would just spam their PvE skills and their broken builds, and, you know, you wouldn't have to think, you wouldn't have to solve the problems. You would just, you know, mindlessly coast through the difficult game mode. Whereas with this, it basically takes the meta game and like disables all the things that are broken about it, that are like, you know, let's be real, like cons and summons are like, you know, stuff for when you can't beat something. It's just like, you know, it's like paying to beat a level in like Candy Crush or whatever the fuck, or whatever, you know, Angry Birds, where you can like buy to beat a level. It's like that. So yeah, that's elite mode. You can check out the rules in the description and a pinned comment. It would be cool if they actually added this to the game and like supported it and had like increased drop rate. I think that would be interesting. Only increased drop rate when your party's actually full and doing stuff, because obviously people just farm if it's just hard mode. Yeah, because if they tried to make the game harder by making enemies hit harder, like, it'd just be stupid, because mitigation already mitigates things to 10% of your max, so it wouldn't really be a big difference, and then people just farm it. But yeah, I think that should be a pretty good challenge. So, you know, go try and vanquish some of these areas with half party size and all these other restrictions. Good luck.